Welcome to A Shot in the Arm podcast. I'm Ben Plumley, and we're on the road with the Global Listening Project here in Lagos, Nigeria. This is the second of our Lagos episodes, and this one's also brought to you with our friends from Frontline AIDS. Yes, we're sharing the mic again. In this episode, it's a feature-length episode, Y-Isha Raphael, our production coordinator and co-host, chats and listens to some incredible young women from Lagos. It's a fascinating conversation, it's infuriating, and it is inspiring. And at the end of it, she and I will come back and we will chew the cud on things that we've learned and where we go from here. So I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Ben, for that introduction. As you can see, we are joined by these three lovely ladies, Adeola, Hassana, and Abiodun. I'm going to give them an opportunity, obviously, to introduce themselves. But like I said, they're going to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about who they are, where they're from, the work that they do. Just a hint, a little bit about them, the three of them that I know, is that they are MTV Sugar alumni. So we're very excited to have them in the house and learn a little bit about what the work that they've been doing. And yeah, Adeola, do you want to start?
Good morning once again. Like I said, my name is Adeola. I'm Secretary of Association of Positive Youth in Nigeria. I'm an advocate for HIV, mostly on young people. I'm a peer educator, an adherence counselor, a mentor mother as well on this line. So I got to meet MTV Sugar then. So coupled with my experience, the experience I had on this HIV. So when I was able to meet with MTV Sugar, I was able to overcome the stigma and the trauma that I went through. Far back 2013, I was diagnosed HIV positive. I was hospitalized. They never told me I was HIV positive. They just said, somebody just sent a text message to me and said, you are HIV positive. What I'm trying to say is, I was not told by the medical practitioners. It was somebody that just called me. They called somebody on phone and all that. So I really faced trauma. I was sleeping in the passage then. So when I was going through all this, I met with Mr. Larry. He brought me in from MTV Sugar. I participated then. So then I was able to learn that I got I was able to learn, and I was able to feel free, like saying living with HIV is not the end of the whole show, because the MTV Sugar was based on the HIV stuff and all that. So I was encouraged. They put smiles on my face and all that. So then it was fun to be with MTV Sugar. I played a role of a counselor, tester, and a peer educator then. So since then, I've been able to be on my own. I've been able to fight for young people living with HIV that have been stigmatized or discriminated and all that. It was fun. It was really, really good. We want more of it because of the young people that they have gone through what I've gone through, that they did not see somebody that will encourage them, that will give them life and hope and all that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hassana?
My name is Hassana Adams. I'm the Lagos State Coordinator for NAMFTA. NAMFTA is Nigeria Youth Working on HIV and AIDS. Also a peer educator. I'm a counselor. And at the same time, I'm an athlete. Working on HIV, it's a very lovely thing that I can never say no to do, because at least I have touched a lot of lives, of which I think it's a very good thing. So,
Thank you. Abiodun, you can go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm Abiodun Lamin. I'm from Kogi and I'm a peer educator. I worked with MTV Base back then. Was it 2000 and I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah,
It's okay.
But whatever. So along the line, I was brought into the line because my sister, she was actually into it. So I get to meet a lot of people that are affected with the disease. And she actually taught me not to discriminate or she taught me how to accommodate a lot of them. So I've been exposed to that at my early age. So working with the MTV base and seeing a lot of people being affected back then. So it's not a big deal. And I can see that we are growing in Nigeria with the way everything, we are growing and we are learning to protect each other from
Yeah.
infection.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you guys for sharing. I suppose maybe you guys have worked together before.
Of course, we've all worked
Can you
together.
give me a story of how you guys met?
Okay. Mr. Larry Babamole, right now, he's the coordinator, national coordinator of Nigeria youth working on HIV and AIDS. Mostly, people on that platform are activists. And he was the one who dragged me in. And he said, Hassana, let's go and do HIV work. And I said, okay, what's so sweet about it? He said, come on, I know you love talking and I know you love encouraging people. By the time you get there, you know what we're talking about. I'm also MTV-based sugar is coming up and they're going to be using a lot of counselors and stuff. So I want you to come on board so that we can be able to make an impact. So that was how Mr. Larry dragged me in. And I met Adeola, Ajetunmobi. She was very young, but to God be the glory, she's growing.
Yeah.
Like I'm growing as well, though, but I'm still an elder sister to her, though. So, Abiodun here, I said, Larry invited me, let me also invite you, so we can be able to go into the city of Lagos State to make some changes. And so that's how we have worked together. And after the winding up of sugar projects, it really hits me personally badly because I believe there are a lot of youth there that we've impacted in their lives. I can tell you, I dictated 2 people living with HIV unknowingly on the one we did at Unilag. I was the one who tested them. And I felt like, oh my God. So this thing is actually happening right here and these people do not really know. They don't even know. Because when you see the reaction of people who have been living with it before now, you will know. And those ones who got to know about it now, you will definitely know. So those are my kind of experience that I felt like, no, we just need to make some changes. So I don't know how MTV base can come back because we need to just make more impacts to the youth.
To the youth, yeah.
You hear that, MTV? Come back to Nigeria.
Most
They need
especially
you.
Sophie. Sophie have played a very vital role in that movie. The Skatanyash.
Thank
And
you.
Yes, and Emmanuel. Most especially Femi as well. You know, we just want the MTV base to come back alive, I swear. I just want it. I
can't
personally want it to come back alive because a lot of youths out there, you know, youths love watching any station that there is music. And coming in from that angle of MTV, you know, it's really, really caused across to a lot of youths out there in Nigeria. Not even just Nigeria. They kept watching and watching and watching. And that's where they were getting the information
More
from.
educated
You know.
about it.
So that is it.
Yeah, they should come back.
They should just come back. I'm begging.
Yeah.
I'm on my knees because
They
to be
should come
candid
back,
with you, we are the one on the field. And I can tell you our experience is. Some does not know that I've been living with this thing. And some you will even call them, they will tell you, please, I don't have time. And some will even slap you along the line, even cancelling enough. Just cancelling. That, you know, you can contact this from this. Sure, did I tell you that I have HIV in it? Why do you want to test me? But if you have gotten that information from a very lively platform, like what Sugar have done on MTV Base, I am sure the information will cut across more than ever. And let me just be sincere with you, because I go to program here and there. Let me just say, almost every day by day, most especially when I just come into the office, this one will call me, we want you to come and talk about this, we want you to come and talk about this. I tell you, the rate of which the awareness of HIV is going down right now in Nigeria, for me, if I have to give it a grade, it's
Very low.
20%.
Yeah, very low.
Wow.
Out of 100.
Very, very low.
And I just have to just make it clear to you. In a community whereby there is no solid information or a channel of information, that thing we felt that we want to let it to go down will rise up again. Because there is no longer a medium for awareness. So we want more awareness. And we believe Sugar have done a greatest awareness creation for our youth out.
Yeah.
So we want them back.
Oh wow, thank you. So I want to take it back actually to your youth, your own youth, all of you, and growing up in Nigeria, in your teenagehood, between ages of 10, 11, 12 to 18, what were your hopes and dreams growing up?
When I was growing up then, like I said earlier, I got to know 9 years ago. I was 14. No, my hope then, I don't have any hope then because I don't have guidance and no parent and all that. So getting myself involved in this, I was just like, oh, MTV Sugar. To be sincere with you, MTV Sugar has really, really impacted knowledge and on me and other youths there. As in the knowledge acquired was, I can't explain it, because then what I faced was terrible. It was ugly. But for me to come into MTV, MTV Sugar was not there then. I don't know what would have happened. Do you get?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I was just like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. I want to be that. Before I got myself in to where I am now. So when I got there, it was ugly. But thank God, again, I met, like she said, Mr. Larry Babamole. He has really, really been a good mentor. He's a person that wants youth living with HIV to grow. So he brought me, I got to meet him through my boss, Amino. Amino is in Canada now. That, Adeola, come. You will not die. You can't die. This come into. So immediately I move into MTV based Sugar. I was just like, Mr. Larry, you said it and it's true. He said yes. So it gave me enough courage to build myself, and where I am now with God, Mr. Larry and MTV Sugar, I was able to handle it.
Wow. Hassana?
All right, for me, growing up knowing HIV and AIDS wasn't a friendly, topic at all. Because I remember then my mom told me that HIV, it's a white man disease that they blown it into the air. And one can just contract it through the air. So the fears of where to even move to becomes an issue. Talk of sitting down, relating, coaching, or probably even fighting for the rights of people living with HIV. You get? So it's not a thing which I actually dreams of because of the fear my moms have put in me. You get? So there wasn't really an information about the basic fact of HIV. So HIV is just a deadly disease, and touching whoever that has HIV alone, you will be infected. Or even talking about HIV, people will stigmatize you. Even on the work I do, I hosted a tournament last year. It's on HIV and AIDS. And the moment I finished that tournament, a lot of people kept calling me that, do you have HIV? Are you living with HIV? How come you're working on HIV? Imagine from that time to this time. at least there has been a clear information from those days to this time around. But then, for you to know that if I have a problem with what HIV is in my teen age, compared to what this teen age of these days we have, because we've been deprived to go into the school to talk to the youths about HIV. They will tell us, if you go to the school, don't talk about condom, don't talk about abstinence, don't talk about be faithful. Sorry, don't talk about be faithful, but you can talk about abstinence. And do not forget that a lot of these youth have been practicing it unknowingly to their parents. So if we've been shut down not to educate the secondary school students what HIV is all about and how they can protect themselves, then my own information about HIV then would even be more better than the generation to come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what were your personal hopes and dreams in that context?
My personal hopes and dream anyway, I believe that one day there will be free HIV generation. That is to say, if there is an opportunity for us to keep creating awareness and giving out the appropriate treatments to the real people, then for me, I believe that there is a hope for a free HIV generation.
Abiodun, your own hopes and dreams?
Actually, yeah. Like I said, I grew up knowing about it I was, let's say 8, when I was informed about it. So I believe that if we have a good government and a lot of people that can help the community to educate the youth about this, we won't be where we are like this, because the information are very low at hand like this. They don't have we're just living right now like it's a normal thing. Yeah, it's a normal thing. We've heard it's a normal thing. So we just want where everything can be. We can still control this thing.
So would you say that things have changed? Your hopes and dreams, have they evolved, become something different? Because we've been listening to some of the young women of the ages I'm talking about, between 10 and 18, listening to the things they have to say. And, they want to become doctors, they want to become lawyers, some even soldiers. And we also ask them who they are influenced by. And who they are influenced by is so opposite towards what they want to become. They are influenced by Purple Speedy. I don't know if you know her. She's an influencer on TikTok. I also didn't know. I was also, very interested to find out. Mercy Johnson, Kylie Jenner, Justin Bieber, these celebrities those are not doctors, those are not lawyers, but these are the influences that they have. So I'd be actually interested to know if you guys have any influences, whether it's on TV or on social media. Who's influencing you right now?
Who actually influenced me was Gani Farai.
Okay.
He was an activist. He fought for the rights of humans. And growing, I actually dreamed to fight for the rights of humans. But then, I am glad that Mr. Larry drugged me into this. Right now, I fight for the rights of youth out there. It could be rape. It could be infection. It could be anything, or probably the way of their life, the way they live. Probably they don't have parents and they need to leave and things like that. So that is what I do for now, coupled with my HIV world. And looking at Gani Farai, the way he has fought for a lot of things really makes me have the dreams that one day I could be fighting for somebody's rights. And people will praise me for that. Although I haven't get to that level then, but I am marching forward gradually to achieve that.
No, we see you and we appreciate you. So take this as people saying that, yes, you are fighting for people's rights. Yeah, you are on that level.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who are you influenced by?
He's a politician.
Tell us all about him. Or
Femi
her.
Gbajabiamila. I really love him. I like him. Everything. He's a father. Everything to me. The thing is, why is influencing me? Is 95% of politicians they will say they will not do. They will talk. They are not talk and do. But when I got to meet him, I met with him one far back 10 years ago. Said, little girl, what do you want? Said, sir, I know you. You're a politician. He said, yes. Then he was trying to campaign for his out of rape. I was like, when you get there, what do you have for the youth? Said, little girl, what do I understand by what did they have for the youth? Said, yes. Because Nigeria here, we don't take youth serious. We believe on the grey hairs. So when youth talk, you just neglect them, tell them, go to the back. It drew me, was like, okay, I promise the youth, take care of the schools, feed them, pay for their YX and all that. He promised and he did it. Has been doing it. Is my influence. I was like, okay, for me to have you as a politician, and I met with him, he said he will bring up the youth, he will make the voice of the youth to be heard, and 50% of the people working with him, they are youth. They are between 25, 30, 33.
Yeah.
I move closer. So since then, I've not gotten an opportunity to meet him again.
Yeah.
But he said it and he's doing it.
Okay.
Up there is really fighting for the masses. So that's how he has really, really influenced me. And the last election, I voted because of him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I voted because of him, because he said he would do it. And I really wish I can meet him again. Sure you get. So he has really, really influenced me. But he made promise of youth. Me, I really like youth. I want youth voice to be heard everywhere we go, most especially on this HIV of a thing. Youth living with HIV. I think our leaders in this country, they should help youth living with HIV, because they don't have helps, they don't have hands, they are hopeless. Talk about the economic of Nigeria now, coupled with HIV. It's terrible. It's terrible. So I have youths out there that they are not in school because their parents are not able to help them further, and most of their parents who are HIV positive. And using ARV without taking good food is not helping. So I really want Nigerian government, partners like PEFA, MTV to impact more on youth living with HIV. Thank you.
Who's influencing you right now?
Yeah, my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can see what she's doing for the youth, and I am impressed, and I hope that one day I can be able to do more than that for the youth. Because let's say I have a friend that she's actually a drug addict, but I was actually there for her, because the kind of person my sister is, she's so accommodating. She have everybody, drugs, HIV, tuberculosis. She will bring all of them home. We'll stay together. Those that doesn't have a place to live will live together in her place. So I'm hoping one day, when I have a place that I'm financially okay to help people, I can do that. She's the only person that influenced me. I don't have all the celeb, all those politicians.
That's a very valid influence. I hope to meet your sister one day. She sounds like a really great and amazing person
Cheers.
for introducing you, especially to this line of work. Wow. So, speaking again of the young people, and I love your influences. You guys have such mature influences. The young people who are listening to, and they, were talking about their influences, obviously from the internet, and they were so confident and comfortable with using the internet and getting information from there, learning from there, entertainment from there. What was your experience growing up? Did you guys use the internet a lot? Or did you have smartphones? What was your experience actually with the internet?
My experience with the internet, I then I don't really have a smartphone, so I just had to go to the cafe to browse and see what is happening in the internet before I got my smartphone. Basically, I prefer going to the cafe then because of a lot of the cafe I go to. I meet a lot of young people. And the reason why I like, even when I got my smartphone, I still go there. The reason why I like going there is interact with them, ask them, do you know about HIV? All I talk about is HIV. They are like, you with HIV, what is wrong? Nothing. Have you been tested? So me going to the cafe about the internet to check what is happening on HIV and social media generally, I do that. But my focus then was HIV because of what I went through, like I said earlier. So if I go to the cafe to access the internet, I used to go to where youth at. So when I get there, have you been tested? At times I go with my test kit. Have you been tested? No. I would, as in adherence, pre-counseling, I'll counsel the person. HIV is not the it's not the end of the world. I make them understand what HIV is, and I make them understand that okay, the post-counseling, like okay, what if you are HIV positive? What will happen? I will die. I will go and throw myself inside the lagoon. I'm like, okay, no, it's not like that. We have a lot of people sitting here that are HIV positive that we don't know. They're like, no, why is it? I said, no, calm down. So then I did a lot of HIV tests, but I was able to get one person. She's a girl. And she was a virgin then.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, it's not new to me. We have a lot of virgins that are HIV like that. So my going to the internet then through cafe that was all I could go there to do. Even when I have my smartphone, I still go there just because of interaction of HIV, and I was able to communicate what HIV is to them then.
Wow. So you actually used the space to your advantage because you knew there were a lot of young people there. What was your experience like, Hassana?
Well, I was brought up from a poor background. So I don't have access to internet. We don't have a smartphone. So the only phone I grew up with my mom was Nokia 3310. And she said she has been using it for some time. And I would just dodge it to make some calls with it on it to my friends. Most especially those of my friends that their parents are rich. But once in a while, there was this man who stays on our street. He's into cafe. So we'll have to buy airtime to go to the cafe to browse. But then there wasn't that too really something meaningful we were going there to do. But we'll just buy airtime and we'll just be there pressing rubbish. We'll just be pressing rubbish. Let's continue pressing rubbish. So until one day now said, what exactly are you looking for? I said, I want to open Yahoo. People are saying that they when you have Yahoo, you can have access to a lot of information, blah, blah, blah. So that was how I opened Yahoo. But from there, my friend, whom her parents was rich, will come and to my house with a big phone. From there, was just start to be pressing whatsoever we felt that we just want to press. So gradually, as we were growing and growing and growing, we now started knowing the benefits of what internet is actually is.
Yeah.
for me, I believe internet is for a vital information, not to get lost out of the world. And my teacher would tell me then that a word is a small place. It's just a global circle. So I do not really understand what he meant then. Not until I started using the real what internet is. But as I was growing as a teenager, I wasn't really exposed to it. But as I was growing out of my teen to, a matured babe now, I now started to be knowing what internet is.
And seeing how young people use the internet these days, would you allow maybe your kids or future kids to use internet?
No, 18 and above.
Yeah. 18 and above.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about you?
It's totally abused.
Yeah. So would you let your kids?
No.
You'd restrict them from it until they are old enough.
Until they are old enough.
Oh wow. That's interesting, because the young women that we're listening to, like I said, they are between ages of 10 and 18. They are really using the internet, and that the information that they're getting, I'm sure, whether it's correct or incorrect, I don't know. Like you say, you wouldn't want your child to use it until they're 18, because there's a lot of stuff that you can find there that are not good for you. And some people post wrong things on internet. They post incorrect information, especially on social media. They just write things that are sometimes blatant lies. So when you are using the internet, because I'm sure you guys have some social media, Facebook, Instagram, if you see something that is untrue, or when people are just talking about like misinformation, talking lies, maybe about HIV, how do you move through that to get the real truth of what is going on? How do you do your own research?
There are a lot of informations that people have spread on the internet. There was a time I got this information that there was a young lady who works with Pepsi that cut his finger and press his blood into the Pepsi, and they were saying that people should not drink Pepsi then. It really hit me hard, because I knew the whole information about it. Even if the person likes, let him cut the whole of his body into pieces and squeeze the blood into the Pepsi. No one will contact HIV from that. But for people spreading that kind of information was totally a very wrong one. And it got me angry. So that I had to call a friend of mine. I called Amina Ali. I called Mr. Ibrahim Umoru. I called Auntie Rolake Odetoyinbo. She's a giant lady when we talk about HIV and AIDS in Nigeria. These are the people who are really at the forefront. So I had to call them. I said, boss, this is what I got. And this thing is really boiling me. Aside from these people trying to tarnish the image of Pepsi, the brand, aside from that, people are placing a kind of label into the HIV as a whole. Why would you say that if you drink a Pepsi is being contaminated with blah blah blah, this that, and then another story of a young woman who was working with a particular bank, I will not mention, that she said they lay her off simply because she tested to HIV, blah blah blah, and at the long run, some activists, group of activists who stood up to fight for the rights. But she said no. So you see, when we're talking about the advantage of the media, we still have to talk about the disadvantage of it.
Yeah.
If you have a correct fight for us to fight for, you should allow the people who want to fight for you to do the fighting. But you have it and you do not allow people to fight for. It means to say that you yourself, you're killing yourself in a silent mode. Do Do you get?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of messages we've seen on the internet. There's one I even saw about 3 days ago. A friend of mine just posted it on an Instagram status. And he said, run away from this lady. Oh. This lady is HIV positive. He has infected the whole Benin city. Only God knows where she got it from. What kind of information is that? But I had to call this lady. I said, where did you get this information from? This video you're sharing, I want to get to the root of it. And by the time we mix all our research, from day 4, that was about day 4 yesterday to this time around, we reached the girl, and the girl said she does not even know who posted her. She does not even know how her picture managed to escalate to this.
Probably she's owing someone.
Are you getting it now? We try to, make her to think otherwise. Did you do this? Did you do that? He said, babe, I know nothing about HIV. As I'm speaking with you, I've never done HIV test in my entire life. And doing that made her to know her HIV status yesterday. Because I had to refer her down to an office in Benin City there. And she went there, she did her test. She showed it to me, said, look at it. I am negative. I said, congratulations. But then 3 months time, you have to go back for it.
Window period.
So you see the kind of messages people spread on internet. So horrible.
No, but I like the fact that you take on an investigative role. You're like, I'm going to uncover the truth.
I'm an activist. Trouble is my hobby. Yes. I love trouble. Make trouble and let us drag it. So that is just my food. When you bring trouble into my table, you have given me what to eat for my breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about family planning and reproductive health. Now, I've been mentioning these young women who've been listening to, once again, I'll just repeat the ages, 10 to 18 years old. And let me say that when we were listening to them talk about family planning, we were shocked, especially the younger ages of 10 to 13. They knew it all. They knew about Postino, they know about Plan B, the pill, implants, condom, and they're so articulate about what they know. I would like to know from you guys, growing up, was it easy to be having these conversations about family planning, about reproductive health?
When we were growing young. My mom would tell me, if a man nears you, you are pregnant.
Touches you.
If it sits beside you, you are pregnant. So where would the family planning comes from?
Oh, wow.
Or when you come from school, probably your schoolmates, whom is a boy, follow you down to your home, and your mom will tell you, who is that boy? And what is that boy for? Do you know if that boy should touch you, you are pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there is no family planning.
Family plan, but...
Or who born you well to talk about condom where your parents are? Or do you want to tell your parents you want to take an injection to protect you from getting pregnant?
Oh, wow.
You then don't try it. Let me tell you, even till now in Nigeria, no any mother will want to tell you bluntly that I want to do family planning for my girl.
Yeah.
This is Africa. The mentality of tó bá ṣe ogbe. Tó bá ṣe ogbe means if you try it, you are done.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you dare don't try it.
Oh, wow. Tell me your experience, because I can see that in your mind, you just have a lot going through. Tell me.
Bloody experience.
She said bloody.
I had privilege to a family planning then. The rape will not lead to pregnancy. There was nothing of such. Then it was horrible. Family planning. Say it where in a circle of an adult, if a young girl just talk about postunion, they will strangle her to death.
Oh.
So family planning.
Not like family
not
planning.
to talk about
It is.
then when growing up, no.
Oh, wow.
So,
I have access to family planning, or I have knowledge to family planning. I was able to access family planning then. Immediately I was raped, I would go straight but there's nothing to do. And I had the baby It's fine. She's negative and everything is going on. So family planning then is just horrible. It is now that I've been hearing about family planning among young people. I was just like, immediately I heard the program, family planning, I flashed back then that I didn't have the opportunity of this wouldn't have happened. But all works well, good. So that's just this horrible experience.
Tell me your experience, because you said you started learning about HIV when you were about 8 years old. So was family planning a part of that learning and those discussions?
Yeah.
What was your experience?
Actually, my sister, she told me that once you don't guys will always want to come your way. And there's only one way for you to prevent yourself. If you know that, okay, you've seen a person you like. Because even though they will tell you that don't do it, if you want to do it, then you want to do it because you like that person. She'll now tell me that, okay, I will not monitor you anywhere you want to go to, but this is condom. My sister showed me, this is condom, because she actually brought me up when I lost my dad. So that's why we have that kind of mutual relationship. So she'll show me, this is condom. And the school I went to, they used to bring all this education, health education, whatever. They'll show us how to insert the condom on the
cucumber.
That this is how to do it. So I was more exposed to it, like, don't do it. Then I actually tell myself that this actual age, when I see someone that I like, that I'm ready to, so we will try it. So I waited because I wasn't in a hurry to do it. And she've actually told me things to do, so I tried it.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't really have a good you have a good influencer.
Yeah,
really,
she
really
does. I love it. Do you think that youth of nowadays in Nigeria are more free to talk about family planning, or do you think that there's still a lot of stigma and judgment from elders if young people try and talk about it?
Yes, a lot of stigma and judges. A lot. Right now, fine, they are introducing family planning to young people, but adults, caregivers, parents, they don't want to hear about it, but they've forgotten that internet will teach their children more of it. So when we try to explain to them that internet, no, my daughter is a virgin, but when you come close to them, interact with them, talk to them as if you're peers, they will open up to you what they do at the back. So right now, family planning is being introduced, but parents, religion leaders,
street parents, though, those ones that are very.
So I think religions leaders too.
Yes.
They really need to tell them about this family planning of it. It's not as if to them they believe if you are talking about family planning, you are telling the child to go astray.
Yeah.
I met with one. I said, what these children are doing at the back. If you see it, you will not imagine, you will go crazy. So just tell them the truth that this is what you to do to prevent unwanted pregnancy, what to do to prevent HIV, STI. Tell them, educate them, so that when they go and do whatever they want to, they will prevent themselves. No, my daughter is. So we really need to, our parents, guidance, and religious leaders, we really need to bring more, as in impact more knowledge on them, on this family planning. If you go to any hospital, a young girl, go to hospital for family planning, they will arrest you.
They will. They will.
Oh wow, really? So it's that bad?
Are you married? What do you need it for? Where is the husband? Only you. They'll want to question you only if you go to some private just to do it. Only that.
Although Lagos State is actually trying to be candid with you, in the sense that there is a center they call Hello Lagos. But the only challenges I felt that we have in that Hello Lagos is that they want young ones to come for assessment of what they put on the table, but at the same time, put a group of elderly women there
to condemn.
To give out the services to them. And before you know what is happening, those elderly people you put there to give those services to the young lady will be eyeing them with some kind of
bad eye.
Only ran one more.
Oh wow.
Kí ló ń bọ̀ láti wá ṣe? Can you imagine irú kékeré yìí? Irú kékeré, onírànú means this wayward child.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at this stupid girl. What is she coming to do? Hey, she came here yesterday for a condom. She's still coming back again for condom. Only God knows if the parent knows about it. And draw to that, you're actually chasing those peers away for them to come and assess what they were supposed to assess to protect their lives. So, for me, there is a lot to do. Just like what Adeola have said, there is a lot to do. The religious leaders need to get involved, although I am not surprised, because even at the church level, you hardly hear them talking about family planning among the adults, the housewives. Talk about the young ones. So, the religious leaders, the government, the state governments, and partners needs to come together to make sure that at least we get something in the rightful place and get it from the rightful person. If you are not peer, you can never behave like a peer.
Yeah.
I'm a youth. Adeola can understand my language.
Yeah.
Abiodun can understand my language.
Yeah.
Omo kí ló ń bọ̀. When you tell an elderly person kí ló ń bọ̀, that person will that child, that person is omo ọ̀tá. You know what they call omo ọ̀tá? All these garage boys, touts. But when we say kí ló ń bọ̀ for ourselves, we know what we're talking about. Kí ló ń bọ̀ means what is happening now.
Yeah.
Oh wow, oh we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But what it is not designed for the peers can never be given to a peer by non-peer. It has to be delivered to the peer by the peer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you design it for us, we must implement it.
Yeah.
As I like to say to all these organizations, nothing about us without us. You can't be talking about us, making things for us.
We don't involve us. You need to involve us. Carry us along. Don't just design for us because we know the way we want to design it. Allow us to be the curator. We want to curate it the way we want it.
Yeah.
And we want to use it the way we want it. But if you curate it for me, I might not be able to use it because it is for your own design, your taste.
Yeah.
So allow us to do the design. We can draw it. We can make a plan. We can implement.
Exactly.
So that is it.
Oh, wow. I like that. I want to hear from you guys now about, people are always talking about differences between boys and girls, men and women. Would you say that there has been a balance? Do you think things have changed, or is there still a lot of discrimination in some situations where, you can tell me whether it's career, school, sex, relationships. Is there difference between boys and girls and how they get treated?
No. For now, I think things are getting better, aside from some local areas, like the Hausas, or the Igbos. But then, the Igbos as well are growing these days. They are seeing beyond tying the career of their girl's child down.
Yeah.
They've started seeing it like an equal, that a child is a child.
Yeah.
Being it a girl or probably a boy, whatsoever a boy can do, a girl can do better.
Yeah.
And I keep preaching to the young ones that are, younger than me, that look, Okonjo Unwela, it's a woman. And to God be the glory, today, she's the DG of World Trade Organization. It's kudos to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And aside from Nigeria, kudos to women at large.
Yeah.
The whole world at large, the whole women in the whole world. If women can be able to take that space to come to where a man's supposed to sit, and a woman take that position, so there is a lot for us to learn. So for Konjo coming from the southern part of Nigeria, they've actually learned from it. In my own place where I even come from too, they do the same thing, but now they've caught it. For me to tell you about Nigeria, even as a land, they will tell you cannot take a piece of land because you are not a male child.
Yeah.
But these days, everything is becoming equal.
Yeah.
So the discrimination about the gender is actually going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Going
good to
down.
hear. What's your experience?
It's the same. Like, it is going down.
Going down. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of difference
Unlike
between.
before, they'll tell you, girl, shy can't do this, but only a boy can't do that. But now they see it equal. A child is a child.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's good. And a child is a child. They should be able to have the same opportunities and
Yeah.
experience as their peers at any moment in time. And now, since I know you guys are very passionate about HIV and AIDS, and someone described, Ben actually would say that our age group, I'm sure we are all in our 20s, mid-20s, that we are the first post-AIDS generation. So we were born just as, AIDS was starting to do the bad things that it was doing in our communities. And I know that, you shared a little bit about your stories, but how would you say that HIV and AIDS and the epidemic has personally affected your lives? And you can tell your story and you can share as much as you're willing to. We can start with you.
HIV has really impacted a lot of things in me. The way I was trained, the way that I was brought up, the whole thing is just. But thank God for HIV, and at the back of my mind, I like, okay, thank God I have HIV self. And even I don't have HIV, I will not be sitting here with you. And even I don't have HIV, I will not be among the sugar MTV base. And even I was not infected with HIV, I will not have that boldness to move to young people, talk to them, let them know their status. Do you get where I'm coming from? If not for HIV, HIV made me strong, made me to be a strong woman. And even I was not positive then, the way things happened. I don't know how I got to be. I don't know how I got to meet in line with HIV. I don't know. I just know I was diagnosed and tested HIV positive. And the terrible experience then really made me go up. I was like, okay, for me to go through this, I have a lot of young people too that will experience this and they don't have who to cry to and all that. So it has really, really impacted a lot of knowledge in me, and it has really given me that courage to stand firm on my ground, like, oh, whatever comes will come and go. Move on. So it has really given me the courage of, like, during the time of a pandemic, coronavirus, then I tell people then that during the time of HIV, they did not tell us to go indoor. Nobody should come outside. Everybody stay indoor. During the HIV pandemic then, when it started newly, there was nothing of such. It's just blood to blood. If not for blood to blood, you will not get HIV by touching you and all that. You are like, yes, at least HIV is better than this one now. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Sweat to sweat. I heard coronavirus, you can get it. But HIV is not like that. And if somebody is HIV positive and the person is not having blood in his or her mouth, can peck or kick somebody that is not HIV positive and the person will not have it. But somebody that is having coronavirus cannot kiss or peck. Don't you get what I'm saying? So it has really, really encouraged and impacted a lot in me. And it had made me a strong woman, and I was able to carry young people along. When I mean young people living with HIV/AIDS, because I'm an advocate. I'm their secretary, Association of Positive Youth in Nigeria, HIV Positive Youth in Nigeria. I'm the secretary, so I was able to bring them together to like, so.
Okay.
My personal experience, how it has impacted my life. I was unable to sit on a high table with some top professors while I was just holding just BSc. Yes. If I do not work on HIV, I might not be able to sit in the midst of professors. If I do not have knowledge on HIV, I might not be able to impart on other youths out there. I might not be able to make some changes. I might not be able to give the real voice that people need to hear to HIV. Because the truth of the issue is, you can only be a selfish person when you are expecting somebody to love you, when you do not pass the purpose of that person to love you to him. Now, let me go down a little bit. You are HIV positive. You do not give me some basic information how to go about being protected. You do not tell me that even if I touch you, I cannot contact it. Even if I kiss you, I cannot contact you. Even if I do what again, eat with you, I cannot contact it. Now, and I'm stigmatizing you. Whose fault is that? Is the person who is actually living with that virus, because he does not pass the correct information to the right people. And that is what HIV world has taught me. They have taught me to get some correct and basic information about HIV. And that's exactly what I am passing to the world. I pass the correct information to the youth. And aside from the youth, to the whole, I can't just call it the nation, but the generation. You get? So, for me, working on HIV or HIV, that name alone, has really given me the stand on my feet to be able to fight for the less privileges, to fight for the right of people, to at the same time pass across some correct information to people. So, getting into HIV field is the best thing I've ever gotten in my life.
In the US, it's become a really contentious conversation, especially now that there's discussion that PEPFAR might not be reauthorized, which means that all the organizations that they support won't get funding. And maybe let's give a message, to anyone who might be watching out there, who might be influenced by the things we've said today. How has PEPFAR changed your lives? And we can start with you.
Okay. PEPFAR, I've worked on PEPFAR projects because I was once in the NACA call center office as an agent. They once paid my salary. And ever since the project winded off, it has affected me, though, because you know how they paid. You know how they paid. Then, talking about youth at large, because I believe one person speaks for millions. And I would say both negative and positive. PEPFAR have really tried for both negative and positive people, because we've been able to use their donation to get people tested, those ones who do not actually knows about their HIV status got to know about their HIV status freely without no penning. In the course of my job, I have realized that there are a lot of women who are not ready to have children due to the fact that there is no any supporting, organization or probably funded that has been put in place for them to just move on with their reproductive lives. And I remember then, because I do refer people to LUT, because LUT is one of the hospital. LUT is Lagos University Teaching Hospital in Idiaraba. We do refer people from here, and then they expanded their services to all these areas that I want you to note. When you do operation, it's for free. There is a free baby formula for the newly born baby through the positive women. There is a prophylaxis given to the child within a period of 6 months or thereabout, including cotrimazole that they will give to the child for another 6 years to make it 1 year, or even extended it to 1.5 years. Then, for the prevention of EMTC, that is the elimination of mother to child transmission. They were doing all these things then. And I tell you, what I actually interested women then was even the baby formula given to those mothers. And there's something again they call plumbing nuts that was actually given to those child suffering from malnutrition then. So there are a lot of things PEFA have done that right now
really impacted.
Women at the stage of reproductive stage that are HIV positive are actually suffering. And due to that, based on the facts, I am talking about based on the facts that are in the clinic session, women confided in us, telling us that they will go for abortion. Some will even tell you they have done abortion simply because there is nothing to cover it up. Before now, I'll say one very important thing here. Before now, PEFA provided free viral load test and CD4 count test. These days, you have to pay for your viral load in some hospitals. And they got to a time, I told you, trouble is my hobby. We put up a stage and we were just making us here and there. They need to come for helping. People cannot continue to be paying their bills that they do not prepare for. You will want to go and do CD4 counts, you will pay for it. Some baseline tests, you will pay for it. Some don't even go to the hospital to collect treatment again. Some go to the pharmacy to buy the treatment. Simply because they knew that they cannot afford to pay for the test. Fine, the treatment is free. But then, they cannot afford to pay for the testing. PEFA have actually given Nigeria a very ease mode for people living with HIV to move on without stress. But after the winding off of PEFA, there have been issues here and there. You see that they take your blood. For 1 year, you don't see your result, your viral load results. For 2 years, you don't see your CD4 count results. And you are talking about not reinfecting your partner. If the other person does not know the level of his CD4 count or the viral load, once spreading of HIV continues. And remember, it's only when you are taking your treatment very well and you know the level of your viral load that you can be sure that, okay, at this level, I am very sure I cannot transmit HIV again. So what are the fates of our women? PEFA needs to come back.
Yes.
There are a lot of things we have missed.
Tell us your experience. Or how has it changed your life, actually?
If not for PEFA, I can't afford to buy my drugs. ARV is very, very expensive. City for count. Viral load. Where will I get money for? Like I said, and even they are selling our ARV. I heard this 15,000 there, but I said, the last job I did, I was paid 15,000 naira. So how do you expect me to pack all the old stipends to go and get drugs? So it has really, really impacted most especially youth, because we have a lot of youth there. They can't afford to do anything. Imagine a secondary school child. Where would the child, and the parent is not doing well, where would the child get money to buy drugs?
Yeah.
If not for the help of PEFA. All the old youth in Nigeria don't die when they live with HIV. So, but thank God for that. PEFA has really, really done great job for keeping us, at least giving us our drugs.
Yeah. Like I said, wow. Thank you guys for being so open and sharing with me. It's been an interesting, sad, happy, I don't know, all the emotions that came up during this conversation. But I want to know from you, young ladies, what's next for you? What are you doing next? Whether it's career-wise, life-wise, love-wise, relationship-wise. Tell me what's next for you. And we can start with you, since you haven't said anything in a while. Yeah.
I'm working on myself to get a place. I'm in nail tech right now.
I like your nails.
Thank you.
Nails for the camera. Show the camera, yeah. Okay.
Thank you. So I'm working to get a place of my own.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hassana?
Well, my career right now, I'm an athlete. I actually have an outfit that's into sports and events. And like I told you earlier, I have organized one of my dream achieved projects, a proposal that I wrote 2011 when I came into the limelight of HIV. I wrote that proposal 2011, and to God be the glory, the proposal could not fly for good 11 years, not until 2022. And this is the t-shirt you're looking on me.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, that's so cute.
So if you look at it here,
I wish you
it
could
is
zoom.
the first amateur golf tournament, and this is Red Ribbon. This year it will be coming back alive again for the second edition, and the name will be changed from amateur golf tournament. This is the tournament I told you of that I did, and people were coming to me, do you really have HIV?
Yeah.
How come did you go into HIV tournaments? But they forgot that I have my passion for it. So this is a program that I cannot, there is nothing Hassan Adams can do without integrating HIV stuff into it. I'm into events, and this is the tournament I have done. If I go to another event again, I will still make sure that I integrate HIV. So HIV has been my watchword. So whatsoever you do, get your HIV test and know where you belong to.
Oh, wow.
So
Thank you. What's next for you?
HIV. My career is HIV. My career, being an advocate for people living with HIV, young people living with HIV. So I really want to push further, as in, I'm working on it. I hope God will help me get my own NGO after schooling, because I really want to go back to nursing. So after schooling, I want to have my own NGO that will be running young people, strictly young people living with HIV, and the females facing GBV, and the family planning of the thing. Thank you.
Oh, you heard it here, everyone. It's been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for sharing. Like I said, I've experienced so many emotions. I don't know if it showed on my face, but I experienced so many emotions listening to your stories, your experiences. The work that you've done is truly amazing. So thank you so much for your contributions, for being willing to share and being open. And we'll get back to Ben. Thank you.
Thank you so
Clap for
much.
yourselves.
Well, what have we learned?
A lot.
Hey,
What haven't we learned?
but on a serious note, listening to these conversations, and particularly listening to, people who are, frankly, a lot younger than me, there is no way I could have articulated what they have articulated. There's no way I would have understood the questions as a young teenage boy growing up in a boarding school in England. No way I would have understood it. I'm really in awe of the extraordinary leadership of these teenage girls and young women. I sort of feel as if this is what the future is like, we may stand a chance. We may be in good hands.
Oh, those are absolutely the right words. I think we are still lost, like how you would say you wouldn't have been able to articulate, because we are young at the end of the day. But I think when you are facing the issues that we face, and even more issues that some other young people face, you have no choice but to be strong. You have no choice but to articulate really well what you want from your leaders, what you want from your government, what you want from, your healthcare providers. You have no choice. You just have to be strong. You have to be an activist. You have to, love trouble. As Hassana said, love trouble.
Yeah, I do love trouble. And I guess, for me, as I ended my teen years and became a young adult, what you've described, having no choice, having to be strong, that's exactly what I felt at the start of the AIDS epidemic in the UK. So there is that sense of continuity. The other thing that really strikes me is that we are in the middle of a revolution, a technical revolution. And isn't it interesting that the ladies that we just spoke to, and they're your age, for them, the internet was not such an important part of their early teenage years, where we are hearing in other settings through the Global Listening Project that today's reality is very different for young girls.
Yeah, no, that's true. Even if, I'm going to reflect on my own childhood, teenagehood, the internet really only came on and became a social media kind of platform. You're using your phone for random Google searches. Like Hassana said, you're just searching nonsense. You're not really searching anything that makes sense. You're just Googling whatever, seems to be interesting at that moment in time. But it was not really as pivotal as it has been, especially since COVID. Because for young people these days, the internet is everything. It's out of place not to have access to the internet. It's not a norm anymore. It's out of place. And young people are just becoming more and more informed, as we've heard in some of these focus group discussions.
Even if young women of your age would not let their kids have access to the internet until they're 18.
I was decently surprised, but I think it speaks to the turning of the tide now, where young people who are now obviously going to be becoming parents soon, or are already parents, realize that, the internet is not just a wonderful slice of heaven, in between computers. There's also the dangers, and overexposure can be harmful. So I was pleasantly surprised, actually. Yeah.
So I've got one more question for you. We've obviously been recording these podcasts while back in the United States, there's sort of growing concern that PEPFAR may not be reauthorized, and this anxiety that some congressional leaders have that, PEPFAR is promoting abortion in some way. And yet I'm feeling from what we have heard here that PEPFAR, through its support of treatment of HIV positive women, of its emphasis on the prevention of mother-to-child transmission, may actually have helped prevent abortions, may well actually have supported women who might otherwise think they couldn't carry a baby to term because of their HIV status, that they and their kid had a future. What's your sense?
Yeah, no, exactly that, Ben. I mean, just to say it outright, the support that PEPFAR has given these organizations, and sometimes directly has given to these young women who, like was said here, there was a point now where young people who were diagnosed with HIV and AIDS were now getting into the reproductive phase. And because PEPFAR was there, it meant that they didn't have to choose between living positively and motherhood. They got to choose motherhood in spite of their status and live healthily as mothers, and also have so-called healthy babies who are not positive. And all the different treatments that they were talking about, the assurances that were made through education to the nurses, the different treatments that were given to babies, because PEPFAR made it an emphasis, that young women and young mothers living with HIV could have babies and have more babies, or do whatever they want, but they could choose that, and they didn't have to make the difficult choice of not being mothers just because of their status.
Well, a lot to think on and ruminate on. It's been a real pleasure working with you on these podcasts, Y-Isha.
I mean, it is me.
And for you to be in front of the camera again.
Yeah, nerve-wracking, but I'm sure you guys didn't notice anything at all.
Well, that's it for our Lagos episodes. We're on the road with the Global Listening Project, and this podcast episode was brought to you with our friends at Frontline AIDS, where we most certainly have been sharing the mic. Thank you to all of the team behind the camera from the House Chronicles and our dear friend Emmanuel Uduma, who have directed and produced these episodes. And of course, a big thanks to you. You can subscribe and you can give us 5 stars. We're on every podcast platform, and we are on YouTube channel, LinkedIn and Spotify video channels. So with that, have a great week and a safe week, and we'll see you on the road soon.